Kind of like a form of steaming it almost, but it tastes really, really good.
Griff. Griff! Very dashing. Very, very dashing, my friend.
Well, Brother McGrath.
God be praised. Yeah, that's very good. Quite cavalier.
You've got a silly hat.
Yeah, but this is for you, Griff. I mean, I've seen you at the golf club on Tuesday nights, and that's just very typical. That's what you say.
This is
You look slightly sort of Guy Fawkesian about you. Good. Interestingly enough, is that a goatee beard you've got?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
Because I've read some of there's an old law of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts that says you cannot have a beard like that without a licence.
We don't have a licence to speak the American Mummerset dialect of the 1600s either, so we're forbidden to interact with the public. Nonetheless, we're ordered to stay in character at all times.
Good morrow.
Morrow, Lee. My name is Griffith, and this is Mr. Rory McGrath.
Your servant.
My servant? You don't look like my servant, but indeed, I appreciate the gesture, good sir. Fit these men up.
Our duties were with the head of the garrison, Scott.
I shall say, advance your pike to the first. Come on now, put that right hand up where it's going to guard your face. Put your left hand down to guard whatever you will. Nan, to the second. To the third.
Beautiful. How do you get on, Griff?
Get it inside your foot.
I'd like to do that again, sir, if I may.
You'll be doing it again till it gets right. I shall have you first to port your pikes, as such. Pikeman, port your pike, upon the command. Now, if you were to advance in that position, will they stand there, or will they scurry? Pikemen, prepare to march, and march. Stand, and stand! That's it. Lay on! Recover. Lay on again! Recover!
Hang on. Where did that come from?
I just got carried away there, sir. Forgive me, sir, if you're...
Your zeal is appreciated. Advance your pike.
What's that again?
That's the point.
Now he's stabbed himself in the foot.
Remember which is the right foot.
May I talk to your man? How did he make the crossing? Is my first question.
Wow.
I wasn't carrying a pike.
Yeah, true. Look, this village is short of rations, but seemingly you've done okay.
Sir, who be you?
Who's got the tallest pike?
Have we met before?
We have never met before.
Who is this man who talks in a strange tongue
Yeah.
with peculiar words of the devil?
I'm sure I've seen you in a sketch by Benny Hill. Could you just do this?
Was he in his sketch of some
I'm
kind?
sure I've bought a small version of you in a gift shop in Swansea. It is, you look like a tiny doll representing the best of Wales. May I say, as a visitor, if I was a Native American, I go through the middle. I go straight through the middle. I go under your pikes.
You said it there, we'll give him typhoid on the way through there.
We have a request of thee.
Yes?
Could you escort us from this place?
I could.
To a place of lunch.
Yeah, I could. I know a place where victuals will victuals do? Victuals will be served soon.
Just take us as far as the gate would be fine.
They have a charge? No.
Take us as far as the gate, and then from there on, perhaps it would be possible for us to revert to the characters as you formerly knew us.
Could we possibly leave the pike? Because my victuals joint has a no pike thing.
Back in the slightly less authentic real world, we go to meet a rock.
I find something quite sweet about this. In the kind of every country has their creation myth.
Yeah.
But they can actually place it here. In a Japanese.
It's not actually the rock they stepped on, is it?
Is it not?
No, there are lots of candidates for that actual rock. It was just chosen as a rock sometime in the 18th century.
The thing about the Plymouth Rock, it hasn't got greetings from Plymouth written all the way through it, which has rather disappointed me.
Here we sit, we're looking at it. Where do we stand on it? Do we think that it helps us in any way? Does it say anything about egalite?
No, well, it's a rock. I don't think. No, the Thanksgiving dinner may perhaps be a good sign of
No,
egalite.
I think that's
Fraternity.
I think that's fraternity.
Yeah.
I think the Native Americans and the settlers coming together to give thanks for.
Right. Liberty? No, it has nothing to do with liberty either. It's just a place where people put a foot on the ground.
Well, there was a liberty because the people who came over, they were suffering persecution, weren't they?
Yeah.
It symbolises what the Statue of Liberty also symbolises, is bring me your poor, your huddled masses, bring me the persecuted people of the world, bring them to this country and settle them down and get them to work in a fast food outlet.
How appropriate that they should first set foot on a rock with 1620 engraved in the side of it.
It's handy, isn't
I
it?
bet they thought, that's useful.
That's a sign.
And actually, they wouldn't have seen it because it's engraved on the
Yeah,
side
I was going
of
to say,
it.
why isn't it
Let's go and look
other
at
way
the
around?
other great symbol, the Mayflower.
The Mayflower.
Couldn't be a more ideal boat than the Mayflower, really.
Well, it ticks all the boxes in many ways.
Visitors, British visitors,
Yeah.
first stepping in.
I mean, there'd be tears, they'd be weeping and see the Mayflower. And Mayflower for the Statue of Liberty.
This one,
Two giants collide.
this one is seaworthy. It made its
came
way
here,
here in 1957 or something like that. So it's a replica. It's not the real thing. And
No,
it's,
of course not, yeah.
and it's obviously being a replica. It can't-
And it was built in Devon, wasn't it?
something like that.
Yeah,
so
so-
in every way,
Wow, it's perfect.
if we could get that boat down to New York, you know, it didn't come from Plymouth anyway. It came from Harwich.
But I thought they came from Plymouth, not that it came from Plymouth.
They came from Harwich. They're on the Mayflower originally, and then they went to Plymouth. Plymouth was just the last place they left. This place should be called Harwich. It should be called the Harwich Rock.
Yeah, but we're in the middle of New England. There's bound to be a Harwich 2 miles down there.
And another one, 2 miles
Yeah.
down there as well.
This boat would be the perfect vessel to take to New York. So we send Rory on a charm offensive to see if we can get Peter, the man in charge of Mayflower 2, to let us have it.
Now that, to me, looks like a magnificent historic boat. I mean, how authentic is the replica?
Well, it's as authentic as we can know. It was very thoroughly researched back in the 50s by a man named William Baker. He spent, I think, 6 years trying to decide what the Mayflower 2 would have looked like.
Well, the question I'm leading up to asking, I suppose, is that we are here to take part in a flotilla which to commemorate the 125th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, nice.
And they've asked us to choose a boat which has a distinct connection to America and Britain and something historical and imposing looking. And I just think that ship is just the perfect candidate for it.
In more than one way, that is the perfect candidate. Mayflower was built as a gesture of thanks from the people of England to the people of the United States following World War II.
Right.
And one of the builders, one of the founders of that project, Warwick Charlton, was thinking on the terms of the Statue of Liberty, the way that the French gave the Statue of Liberty to the United States. It would be a terrific, symbolic, and actual voyage.
A perfect choice.
However,
Yes.
it's a very expensive undertaking, requiring us to train a crew, and we don't have an engine on Mayflower, so we have to hire a tugboat to get us out of this ferry.
We've
go
got
anywhere.
4 days.
Well, we need a few more than that.
I mean, we've got 3 able crew. So I'll tell you what, Peter. I don't know if this will change your mind at all, but you know, we want to take your ship to New York. What do you reckon?
I think you need a little wad of money, a little bit bigger than that.
Okay.
Let's go and see if he's got it. Now, that would really be a surprise if Rory says, I've got it.
Down at Plymouth Beach, far out on a spit of land, the Native Americans had organised a clam bake. All we had to do was get there, 1.5 miles by dugout canoe. It's a long way in a primitive craft, and even further with primitive rowers.
Are we getting one of them, or do we?
We got 2 here in each boat, so we've got plenty.
So if we need them, we find we use them.
We
Fine.
won't need them. I'm a good driver.
Excellent. I'm not an excellent co-pilot, though.
That's why I'm going to be in the back, you're going to be in the front.
Fine.
Hey! Okay. Oh, let's get out of the surf. Come on. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Which side are you canoeing? That one there.
There we go.
Hey.
Hey. Hey, okay. Whoa, this. Oh! Oh, ho, ho!
That is not funny. This is a very unstable boat. I think an hour's going to be optimistic. How many strokes each side would you say?
Whatever you think is best.
Okay.